everyone, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Angel and today I'll be sharing some more fun and simple DIYs. For this first project, I wanted to make some sweater imprinted little clay trees. So I grabbed this little sweater headband from Dollar Tree and I'm gonna go ahead and cut it open so that I can grab some of my air dry clay and start rolling that out. Now I usually purchase my air dry clay from Walmart, but if you can't find it there, I do have a link below for Amazon air dry clay that I use often as well. Now once I had a piece of clay rolled out the size that I wanted, I went ahead and laid that sweater headband on top of there, and I'm gonna push down really hard to leave the imprint on there, and then I will just cut out the shape of a tree. Then I'm just going to go ahead and do this 2 more times so that I can have 3 trees. Now I ended up cutting the other 2 just in a triangular Christmas tree shape. And then I'm going to set all 3 of these aside for 24 hours to let them dry. And after the 24 hours, once everything was dry, I'm gonna grab this little birch round from Dollar Tree. I just removed the little twine, and then I'm gonna take some of these little sticks that came in a bag from Dollar Tree, and I'm gonna hot glue these to the backs of my tree. Now I'm using Gorilla Glue hot glue sticks, so these hold really well. But if you are not using those, I would suggest using some super glue for this so that they will hold. Now these birchwood rounds are really soft wood, so I was able to just use my screwdriver to make a few holes in this so that I could set my trees down in there. And again, I am going to be using that Gorilla Glue to put these down in the hole. For this next project, I wanted to make a little countdown to Christmas kind of thing. So I found this birchwood piece at Dollar Tree and I'm just going to go over it very lightly with some of my white chalk paint. Now I'm going to be using some of these stamps that I got from Amazon, and of course I will have everything I use in today's video linked below for you if possible, but I wanted to use this little reindeer and Santa sleigh, so I'm going to go ahead and stamp that onto the front of my birchwood piece. And then I had another stamp that said Santa Claus is coming to town, so I'm going to put that right above where I stamped the sleigh. Then I had some of these little vintage hooks, and I actually found these in my house when I moved in it. We live in a very old house, so I found these and I've been holding on to them, and I thought they would be perfect for this project. Then I'm going to take one of these larger wood rounds. These are from Dollar Tree, and I'm actually just going to cut this right in half to make these a little thinner, and then I'll be using some of this Dollar Tree chalkboard paint, and I'm just going to go around and paint the center of these. Then I'm just going to take 2 of these little eye hooks. I also got these at Dollar Tree as well, and I'm just going to screw these down into the tops of the wood pieces. Now I didn't want to drill into this birchwood piece because it's really thin, so I just went ahead and used some gel super glue to glue the little hooks down. And finally, for this project, all I had to do was go ahead and prep that chalkboard piece so that I could write how many days until Christmas. For this next project, I wanted to make some nutcrackers, and I had these little spindles, and it was 1 piece, and I just went ahead and cut it down in half. But if you don't have spindles, you can find them on Etsy for really super cheap, or you could actually just use chunky dowels for that part. For the arms and the legs, I'm just using some Dollar Tree dowels, and I cut the arms down at 2.5 inches and the legs down at 4.5 inches. For the shoulders and the hands, I'm going to be using these velvet push pins from Dollar Tree, and I'm just using this little tool I got from Dollar Tree, and I'm poking holes in the little pieces that I'm using for the arms, and then all I have to do is push those little push pins down in there. But I realized before I do all of those, I should go ahead and paint these, so everything got 2 coats of my white chalk paint. Then once everything was dry, I did go ahead and finish doing the push pins in the arms, and I did add a drop of hot glue to these just so that they would stay down in there. For the base of my nutcrackers, I'm just using these little wood pieces. These came off of some of Dollar Tree's bottle brush trees, and I just had these left over from a project before, so I'll be using these for the base. But before I do that, I went ahead and glued all of my nutcrackers together. I'm just gluing the arms on here, and I am using a combination of wood glue and my Gorilla Glue hot glue sticks for this. And once I had the arms on, I went ahead and did the same for the legs. For the hats for my nutcrackers, I found these little crystal knobs at Dollar Tree, and they actually had silver pieces on the bottom, but I went ahead and painted those vintage gold, and then all I had to do was screw these down into the tops of them. And once I had those screwed in, I went back in and decided to add some vintage antique gold to the bottom of these for their boots, and I also painted the little stands. And as you can see here, I did go ahead and drill little holes in the stands for these nutcrackers, and then I'm just going to add a little bit of wood glue before I put these down in there. And that was it for this project. I absolutely love how they turned out. Let me know what you think of them. This next project, I wanted to make some little Christmas covers for these Dollar Tree hurricane vases. So I picked up these tube socks from Dollar Tree as well, and I'm gonna go ahead and just cut the tops off of these. Now you could probably use the sleeves from a sweater or anything similar to that for this project, but the only thing is you wanna make sure that whatever you choose has a really tight knit because we're gonna be stamping these. I went ahead and slipped these over my hurricane vases, and then I'm just going to take some of this cardstock that I had, and I cut a piece down so that I could slide this behind there so that when I stamp this, it won't get onto the glass. Just make sure that once you have the cardstock back there that you straighten up all of the knitting. Then I'm again going to be using those Amazon stamps, and for this one I picked a tree, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp the front of this. Then I decided to use some of my Snowflake stamps and stamp 2 of these on there as well. And then for the second vase, I used the reindeer stamp once again because it's just one of my favorites. Antique Christmas bells are all the rage right now, so I definitely wanted to try to make some. I'm just going to be using some soda cans, and I went ahead and did 2 of these, but I'm going to show you how to do this one. I just sanded down my cans a little bit, and then I'm going to take a really sharp razor and cut off the top. Please be extra careful when you are doing this so that you don't cut your fingers. Now, once you have the top of your cans cut off, you're going to take a pair of pliers and kind of bend inward those sharp edges. Then once you have them bent in, you're going to go around again with your pliers and clamp them down so that all those sharp edges are on the inside of your can. Now for extra safety and also because it's going to look good, I took some of my air dry clay and rolled it between my hands so that I could get a long circular piece. Then I'm just going to turn this into a circle shape, and once I have the size of the tops of the cans, then I will just press my cans down into this, go around all the edges, and just start shaping it. And for that back piece where the clay meets, I just kind of squeezed it together onto the can. Then you can just keep going around all the edges and shape this and make it as even as possible. And once I had it shaped the way I wanted it, then I just went back in and squeezed some of this gel super glue up under it so that it will stay on there. For the hangers for my bells, I'm going to be using this metal ribbon that I got from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to go ahead and cut down 3 pieces the same size. Then I'm going to go ahead and use some gel super glue to glue these together, and I'll clamp them just using some of Dollar Tree's clamps. And then once they're dry, I am going to use some of my Gorilla Glue hot glue sticks and attach these to the tops of my cans. Now for paint, I thought I grabbed a coppery gold color, but as it turned out, I actually grabbed rose gold, and I spray painted these with one coat before I realized it. So I did have to go back in and spray them again with some gold paint. But once they were dry, I'm just going to take some of my Waverly antiquing wax with a paper towel, and I'm going to dab this all over my bells. Now make sure that you are not rubbing, because it will take the paint off. Just make sure you are dabbing. And then for the inside of the bell, I'm going to be using some of these wood sticks from Dollar Tree, and I went ahead and painted them this brown color. And then I'm going to be using some of my rope, and what I did was just go ahead and tie 2 knots in each end of the rope. Then I will use some more of that Gorilla Glue to hot glue this to the inside of the bell, and then attach the little wood pieces. And then finally, all I had to do was hang these using some more of my rope. I just tied a few knots at different lengths using 3 pieces of my rope, and then I tied it together at the top. And that is going to be it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time.